All of my regular viewers and long-term subscribers, stay tuned until the end of the video. We passed the 30,000 subscriber mark last night, and as we do with every milestone we set here on the channel, I give you a nice little message, a nice little soliloquy from me at the end of the video. Delusion is a powerful thing. Oftentimes, people with big egos, they live in a world of delusion. They have lied to themselves so many times, they begin to believe their own lies. They begin to believe their own hype. Anytime you reach a certain level of success, it's important to keep your feet on the ground and your head out of your own ass. Success is a very powerful drug. It can cause you to feel invincible. It can cause you to behave in a way that you never would have thought about before. You start to believe you're untouchable. You start to believe that you can get away with anything. You also believe the notion that once you reach a level of success and notoriety, you've made it. Nothing can bring you down. Nothing can take it away from you. Once you hit that level of mentality, it's only a matter of time before the house of cards comes crashing down. 2 years ago, the Cuomo brothers were on top of the world. Andrew Cuomo was governor of New York. He received a multi-million-dollar book deal. For some reason, the mainstream media thought this fucking guy was leading the country through the COVID. He won an Emmy Award for his daily press conferences talking about the Fauci. I never understood it. His brother, Chris Cuomo, he had reached the top of cable news. Chris Cuomo, at one point, had the #1 show in prime time. CNN was doing the unthinkable, beating Fox News in the ratings. Chris Cuomo was the most popular host on the network. This feeling of invincibility brought both brothers crashing down. God only knows where Andrew Cuomo's at today. His face is on the side of a milk carton. If I had to guess, he's sipping martinis on the woke beach, practicing the butt bongo with some unnamed participant. Andrew Cuomo was ousted as the governor of New York amidst a flurry of sexual harassment claims. He learned the tough lesson that a lot of young women think old, wrinkled men flirting with them is revolting. Chris Cuomo was fired from CNN shortly thereafter, right before Christmas last year, I think. The network, they weren't comfortable with him helping his brother during his defense. He was also embroiled, if I remember correctly, I think Chris Cuomo was embroiled in a sexual harassment scandal himself. But Chris, he wants you to know he's back. Oh, all my woke brothers and sisters, I want you to know I'm back. Yes, I was kicked out of Woke United Methodist, but I'm back with a vengeance. I am proud to announce the Chris Cuomo Project. The Chris Cuomo Project? Casey, what the hell's that? I wish I could tell you. I have no fucking clue. When I visited the homepage of the Chris Cuomo Project, this is what I saw. As you can see, this is Chrissy's woke mating call. The cigar in his mouth is a woke signal. He is informing lonely men on Twitter that he's down with the butt bongo. Check out the nice little caption at the bottom. I had to highlight it so you could see it. Something's coming. Oh, really? Really? Ooh, I am so excited. For the last 8 months, the one thing missing in my life was a 50-year-old man who acts like he's 20, posing for shirtless selfies for his lonely male followers. The delusion this fucking guy lives in is unparalleled. He really thinks he's a big deal. 2 weeks ago, he launched the Chris Cuomo Project on YouTube. Now, you gotta remember, this dude was once a household name. He has millions of followers across his social media platforms. You would think, as big of a deal as Chris Cuomo leads you to believe he is, he would have millions of views, millions of subscribers on YouTube, right? Maybe millions is setting the bar too high. 2 weeks is a short time period. Maybe we should drop it to 500,000, 250,000. Let's set the bar even lower. 100,000. Chris Cuomo's a superstar, right? Surely, he could surpass 100,000 views in 2 weeks. The dumb fuck you're watching right now did 150,000 views by Tuesday this week. 2 days, 150,000 views. If I can do 150,000 in 2 days, certainly the superstar can do 100,000 in 2 weeks. Check it out for yourself. A shitfuck who was averaging 2 million viewers on CNN just 2 years ago, can't attract anywhere close to 100,000 people to a freshly dropped turd here on YouTube. Over the last couple of months, Chris Cuomo has been promoting himself as a free agent. I'm back on the market, baby. My non-compete with CNN is over. I can officially get back on television. Hit me up with your best offer. All I had to do was wait for the phone to ring. He waited and waited. Finally, the phone rings. Hello, this is superstar Chris Cuomo. Hey, Chris, this is Sheldon from Twitter. I'm responding to your woke mating call. I'm not horny right now, Sheldon, and I'm waiting for a very important phone call from any mainstream media outlet desperate enough to hire me. Call me later. Alas, the cucumber celebration had to be put on hold until Chris Cuomo found a job. So he continued to wait and wait. He eventually grew tired of waiting, started his failed YouTube channel that I just showed you. But then it happened. The woke skies opened up. The acorns began falling off the woke oak tree. The savior of Chris Cuomo's media career descended from the sky. His phone rings again. Sheldon, I told you I'm busy. I can't insert the cucumber right now. Is this Chris Cuomo? Yes, is this not Sheldon? No, sir. This is Sean Compton with NewsNation. I'm calling to offer you a spot in prime time on our network. Oh my God, Sean, this is great news. I accept. I don't even care about the amount of woke welfare that you're gonna give me. I'm your birthing person. Thanks for the job. Let me call the WNBA dump to book a room so Sheldon and I can properly celebrate. NewsNation? NewsNation? What the fuck is NewsNation? I had to look them up. I'd never heard of them before. Do you guys remember WGN? They used to be home to the Chicago Cubs. Now they're home to Chris Cuomo. And ooh, it doesn't get more high profile than NewsNation. Let me show you their YouTube channel. NewsNation is owned by Nexstar Media, a multi-billion-dollar media conglomerate. Check out these view counts. They supposedly have over 400,000 subscribers. If I had to guess, most of those subscribers are paid for bots because there is no way a channel with 400,000 subscribers should be seeing view counts in the hundreds. If you're a positive thinker, if you're a glass half full kind of thinker, there is some good news. NewsNation's available in 75 million homes, same number of homes as Fox News, ESPN, CNN, MSNBC. Right now, they average 50,000 viewers in prime time. But have no fear. Chris Cuomo, he's going to save the network. They are paying him $1 million a year, and their expectation is for him to double primetime viewership to 100,000 viewers. What? This guy can't draw 100,000 viewers in 2 weeks on YouTube. And you expect him to attract 100,000 viewers on a nightly basis on a news channel no one's ever heard of? Chris Cuomo has a plan though. Oh, he's got a brilliant plan. The same shitfuck who created mythical stories about the COVID. You remember this?
Especially after what I learned last night. This virus came at me. I've never seen anything like it, okay? So yeah, I've had a fever. You've had a fever. But 102, 103, 103 plus that wouldn't quit. And it was like somebody was beating me like a piñata. And I was shivering so much that Sanjay's right. I chipped my tooth. These are not cheap, okay? And they call them the rigors, like rigors, R-I-G-O-R-S, but rigors. So the sun comes up. I'm awake. I was up all night. I'm telling you, I was hallucinating. My dad was talking to me. I was seeing people from college, people I haven't seen in forever. It was freaky what I lived through last night. And it may happen again.
The same shitfuck who spent the last 2 years sitting in Don Lemon's lap on the woke train, preaching to people about Orange Man bad. The same dude with deep ties to the Democratic Party. The same dude who promoted stories of mythical racism and told us protests aren't supposed to be peaceful. His strategy to build something special at NewsNation is to cater to the common man and no longer cater to political parties. That's a great idea, Chris, but here's the problem. Who's gonna believe ya? Nexstar Media just took $1 million, doused it with kerosene, and watched it burn. If you're thinking Chris Cuomo is gonna save your network, you're barking up the wrong oak tree. This dude can't save himself. He lives in a world of delusion the rest of us can't even imagine. Bill O'Reilly drew double, maybe even triple the audience that Chris Cuomo drew on CNN. He was fired from Fox News several years ago. Anyone seen Bill O'Reilly since? These cable news hosts who think they're invincible, who think they're bigger than the platform, they always learn the hard way. They're not. Take away Fox News from Bill O'Reilly, he's a ghost. Take away CNN from Chris Cuomo, he's a self-proclaimed free agent, dateless every night in prime time. Delusion with Chris Cuomo is set to premiere on NewsNation sometime this fall. And he's going to be competing with Keith Olbermann to see who can attract the most lonely men with their woke mating calls. All right, before we wrap up, I wanted to thank you guys once again. It seems like I'm making these speeches thanking you guys with more and more regularity lately. I tend to show my appreciation to you with every 5,000 new subscribers that we add on the channel, and it seems to happen faster and faster. Like I said earlier, the channel surpassed 30,000 subscribers last night. I could not do this. I wouldn't be here without all of you. It is incredibly difficult on this platform to keep people's attention long enough to get them to watch the entirety of your videos. My average view duration hovers around the 7-minute mark, which means normally around 40% of you guys are watching the entire video. Now that is a great number. I remember when I was starting out, it was difficult for me to get 40% to watch through the first minute. Last night, I was thinking about how risky it was when I quit my job last summer to commit to doing this full time. Now, at the time, I didn't realize how big of a risk I was taking. I just knew I was so miserable going to work every day that I'd rather be doing anything else. But looking back at it now, over a year later, it was a huge risk. January of 2021, I told myself if I could get the channel to making $1,000 every month by the end of the year, I would be able to quit my job. Now, I was making good side money with the sports book. I just needed another $1,000 every month to feel comfortable. Obviously, I didn't make it to the end of the year. I only made it to June. The month I quit work, this channel made $200. I was that miserable. Think about it. I was that miserable. I literally didn't care anymore. I was so tired of working for people who didn't appreciate me that I would rather take the risk and starve to death than spend another 8 hours in an office. I can vividly remember what pushed me over the edge. I'm at work one day. Vice President of Operations for the company calls me up. He liked to say he was my boss. I always hated that term, boss. I'm not blaming him for it. I mean, he was my boss. I just didn't like it. Anyway, he calls me up about some expense receipt from 3 years ago. We kept a short amount of cash on hand at the office for, miscellaneous expenses. I didn't like being responsible for it, so once I spent all of it, I never requested any more, so I never sent in the receipts. Took them 3 years for them to notice that. Anyway, I send the receipts into corporate. One receipt is missing. It was for like $30. So Vice President calls to ask me about it. I say, hey, I'll try to find it. I'll let you know. Couldn't find the receipt. Got busy doing other things. I forgot to call him back. A couple of days go by. He calls again asking about it. I apologize to him. Hey, I fucked up. Forgot to call you back. But I couldn't find the receipt the other day. Let me look one more time and I'll call you back this time. I promise. So I call him back an hour later. No receipt. This dude absolutely erupts on me. You're so irresponsible. There's $30 missing. You're so unorganized. Grow up. I mean, this dude is yelling at me through the phone. So I put him on speaker so my coworker, who's also one of my best friends, could hear this dude yelling at me. So after he's done screaming, I tell him that, hey, look, dude, I'll just put $30 in the box. Case closed. Now, of course, then he's like, no, don't do that. We will fix this on our end. I remember sitting at my desk after that phone call. I literally stared at the wall for an hour or two. I remember the conversation that I was having in my head. You can't do this anymore. You've got to find a way to make your life better. I was literally miserable 5 days every week. Now, this phone call happened, it was around Christmas time because I remember I took the last 3 weeks of the year off. It was the best 3 weeks of my life up until that point. I busted my ass those 3 weeks here on the channel. This was around the time I started making 2 videos every day instead of 1. January 2021, the vice president, my boss, he drives 3 hours to my office for a surprise visit. He had found out over the Christmas holidays about my YouTube channel. He knew I had an exit strategy. He told me in that meeting that I was no longer allowed to take 3 weeks off in a row. Couldn't do that again, which, I mean, that's understandable. I get where he was coming from. But I looked at him and I told him, you will never have to worry about that again. 6 months later, I was gone. I have not had a bad day since. What was once a life filled with stress, filled with misery, has been stress and misery free for over a year. I wake up every day doing exactly what I want to do, what I feel like I was meant to do. And I have you guys to thank for that. You allow me to live my dream. The other day, my girlfriend said something to the effect of, your schedule's so easy and relaxed. You start work at 9 a.m., you take 2-hour lunch breaks, you take coffee breaks throughout the day, you play golf, blah, 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 blah. Which is true. It's all true. But it also took a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. Waking up every morning at 5 a.m. for 2 years to get a video uploaded before I had to go to work. Working until 11, 12 o'clock at night, prepping the video for the next morning. Driving back home during my lunch break just to get a video recorded and uploaded before going back to work. Looking back at it now, I don't know how I did it, but when you reach a point of no return, when you feel so desperate enough to get out of a bad situation, you'll be surprised at how far you can push yourself. I was willing to do whatever it took. I didn't care. I just had to get the fuck out of there. This channel is not anywhere close to where I want it to be, but we're getting there. I expected we would surpass 30,000 subscribers by the end of August. We achieved that goal with 4 days left in July. I cannot thank you guys enough for your support. All of you guys who email me on a regular basis, stay in contact with me. All of you who comment on every video, I see it. I promise you, I see it. It does not go unnoticed. A lot of times when I'm reading comments from the videos, I'm doing it from my phone, which has my personal YouTube account on it. So I don't like a reply. You know, it's got my last name on it. I don't want that out there. So I don't like a reply to them when I'm looking at them from my phone, but I do see them. I see you. I can't tell you enough how much all of it means to me. You guys literally changed my life, and I appreciate each and every one of you for it. Well, let me know what you think. Will Chris Cuomo be able to elevate NewsNation? Will he be able to push them into the mainstream? Will he even be able to draw 100,000 viewers to his newly fresh turd? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.